Language stories are very important. Every language we speak has its own story. At first, it might feel like each language is fixed in place. English sounds like English, and Turkish sounds like Turkish. But the truth is, languages are always changing. They grow and shift over time. This change is slow and quiet, happening over many years.
Children learn language in many ways, from their parents, friends, and even from videos and books. Because of this, when a language moves from person to person, small changes can happen. Maybe a word is used in a new way, or a sound changes slightly. These changes are small, but over time, they become more noticeable and can create a new form of the language.
Languages change in many ways. Pronunciation can shift over time. A sound might become softer or harder. Grammar also changes, as new ways of saying things become popular. Vocabulary is another area where change happens, sometimes fast. Science and technology are major forces behind this. They bring new ideas and tools, and we need new words to describe them. Like when computers became common and we got words like email and internet.
Slang is another interesting part of language change. Young people often create new words to show they belong to a group. This helps them feel connected. But slang changes quickly. Words that were cool a few years ago might now sound old. This happens because young people always search for something new. When we compare old with modern languages, we see big changes over time. It's like a grand language journey.
English has a long history. It started a long time ago with Old English. Old English is very different from the English we know today. People from many places, such as the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, brought it to England around 1,500 years ago. As time passed, English changed. One reason for its change was that different groups invaded England over the years, like the Vikings and Normans. Each group added their own words and sounds.
English has borrowed many things from other languages. For example, French had a big influence after the Norman conquest. Many of the words we use for law, government, and art come from French. Latin also influenced English, mostly through religion and education. Today, we use Latin for many scientific terms. This constant change and mixing with other languages helped English grow and become more colorful and widely spoken.
If we look at Romance languages like French, Spanish, and Italian, we see a story of change too. They all come from Latin. When the Roman Empire was strong, people across Europe spoke Latin. But after the empire fell, people started using Latin in their own special ways. Over time, these ways became very different. That is how we got the Romance languages we know today. Even though they share roots, each has its own character.
Latin's influence is seen all across Europe. For many years, it was the language of education and religion. Many European languages have words from Latin, even if they are not Romance languages. For example, English has lots of Latin words because it took them from French, which got them from Latin. This shows how languages mix and change over time. They borrow from each other, which makes them grow in new and exciting ways.
Many languages have deep roots. For example, English is part of the Germanic language family. This family also includes German, Dutch, and the Scandinavian languages. All of these languages come from a very old language named Proto-Germanic. Even though we do not have records of Proto-Germanic, linguists can guess how it sounded. They do this by looking at similarities between languages. This method helps them understand the changes over time.
Yes, and there is also the bigger Indo-European family. It is like a giant tree with many branches. Indo-European languages are not just in Europe, they reach into parts of Asia too. This family includes languages like Hindi, Greek, and Persian. But finding the history of these languages is hard. We do not have old writings for every language. Some languages changed very quietly over the years.
Linguists are like detectives. They use clues from words to find out how languages are linked. For example, They look for words that sound similar and share meanings, like how father links to words in Latin, French, and German. These links show that there was a common language once. Understanding these connections helps explain how languages change and develop through time and across places.
Yes, and it's not just English. Turkish connects with the Turkic languages from Central Asia. But not all links are clear because spoken words don't leave fossils like bones or tools. The earliest forms of language are mystery because there aren't enough old records. These mysteries make language history like a puzzle, but it's an exciting puzzle to solve. Even today, the origins of human language are still a big question.
When people move, they take their languages with them. This movement can spread a language to new places. Sometimes, when a powerful group moves, they bring their language and local people start using it. The new language can help in trade, government, or education, and soon it becomes important in that area. Over time, the local language might change or even disappear, replaced by the language of the powerful group.
Yes, that's true. Latin, the language of the Roman Empire, spread like this. When the Romans conquered new lands, people in those regions started speaking Latin because it was useful. In time, it took over local languages, giving rise to French, Spanish, and Italian. These languages became powerful symbols for the people. They connected communities and were part of their identity. Greek is another example of this process.
It's interesting how Greeks kept their language even after being ruled by the Turks for centuries. Language often holds a strong place in people's hearts. It's not just words, it's how they see the world. Even when under foreign rule, Greek people kept their language alive. This shows that language can be more than just a tool, but also a symbol of who we are. It links to our history and culture.
Exactly. Language helps us remember where we come from and what we stand for. It is part of our identity. When we speak our language, we connect with our past and the stories that shaped us. Even when a new language is useful or powerful, people hold on to their own language because it means so much more. It carries the memories, songs, and traditions of a people. This is why language matters so deeply.
Dialects are like small branches on the big tree of a language. They form when a group of people is separated by distance or different ways of life. This is why people in the north of a country may speak differently from those in the south. Their words, accents, and even grammar might not be the same. Over time, these differences can grow bigger, especially if the groups do not mix much.
In today's world, dialects face new challenges. Many people move to big cities, and this movement can make local dialects disappear. Young people often choose to speak in more standard ways because it helps them in schools or jobs. Modern technology like TV and the internet also spread standard language forms. This reduces the little differences that make dialects so special. It is important to study and record dialects before they vanish.
Dialects are treasures of language diversity. They hold unique stories and ways of thinking. When a dialect disappears, we lose a piece of cultural richness. That's why recording them is vital. It is like saving important pieces of a culture's history. Without this work, we might forget how people once lived and spoke. This loss is more than just words. It's a loss of a small world view.
Yes, but it's not just about dialects. Small languages are also at risk. Bigger languages often take over, leaving little room for the smaller ones. In some cases, the younger generation might not even learn their native tongue. As these small languages fade, we lose different ways of seeing the world. This is a wake-up call. We need to value and support linguistic diversity as part of our human heritage.
Many indigenous and Celtic languages face big threats today. These languages often have less power in schools, media, or government. As a result, fewer young people learn them, leading to a risk of disappearing. However, we see efforts to revive them. People are setting up classes and events to teach these languages. There is also work to bring them into modern culture through music or films. These actions help to keep the languages alive.
Language is more than just words. It is about who we are and how we connect with our past. It carries stories, songs, humor, and ways of thinking that are unique. When a language fades, we lose important parts of culture and history. Reviving small languages is like saving a piece of that culture. It's crucial for preserving our world's cultural diversity. Protecting these languages requires effort, but it's worth it for the richness they bring.
In protecting minority languages, technology can play a big role. Apps and websites can help teach young people their native languages. Online courses, games, and social media can make learning fun and engaging. When young people find pride and interest in their heritage through language, they're more likely to continue speaking it. These digital tools are good for reaching more people and can support language revival efforts.
It's also important for communities to share their stories and traditions through their language. This is not only about saving words, but about keeping a cultural identity alive. Events like storytelling nights, cultural festivals, or language camps bring people together and strengthen community bonds. When these activities are enjoyed by all generations, it helps build respect for the language and ensures its survival for future generations.
Please take a moment to like our podcast and subscribe if you want to hear more interesting topics like this in the future. Your support helps us grow and bring you more exciting content. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to exploring more with you next time.